What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. We have got a lot of NASCAR news to go over in today's episode. Before I get into that news, though, make sure you stick around and watch the whole entire video because I have an update for you guys of what is going to be going on here with the channel very soon. So watch to the end of the episode so you guys can get that news as well. But anyway, we've got a lot to go over in this show, so let's go ahead and get started. So now we get into the stories. Jimmie Johnson's rescheduled IndyCar test that was originally scheduled the week after the Brickyard 400 with Ganassi on the Indy Road Course will take place next Tuesday. Great news here that originally it was supposed to be scheduled right after the Brickyard 400, but because he tested positive for COVID the night before the race, so 2 days before the race happened, Jimmie Johnson will be retesting with Ganassi. Good news there. On to the next story. This is kind of bad news. Andy Seiss is going to be leaving Our Motorsports. He's been there for 5 years with the organization. For those of you who don't know, Andy Seiss was originally supposed to be scheduled to race with the organization this year at some point, but Brett Moffitt's basically been driving the car, and another driver will be driving 2 races later this year. So it's not surprising to see. It sucks for Andy Seiss. This guy thinks he's a really good wheel and modifying driver, and I think he could have had a shot in top NASCAR equipment. It's a shame, but I wish him the best of luck on wherever he goes here in the future. Now to the next story. Speaking of which, Andy Lally is going to run the Xfinity Series races at the Daytona Road Course and Road America for the Xfinity Series. Andy Lally, I think, is one of the best road course stringers out there, and I think he has a major advantage, especially at the Daytona Roval. Andy Lally has driven on Daytona Roval in the past in the Grand Am cars. Not many drivers who are racing in the Xfinity Series have the luxury and the advantage of driving on this track in the past. And on top of that, he's driving for a decent organization. The 02 team where Brett Moffitt's driving for the organization, they have contended for top 10s. I think there's a chance he can honestly possibly even win the Daytona Roval race. Because, again, it's very uncertain how that race is going to go, especially with no practice or qualifying going on that racetrack. I think Andy Lally could have a really good shot of winning that race, but we'll have to see what happens when he gets on to the racetrack. Now we get into the next story, and this is really, really awesome news. Brian France is not planning on returning to NASCAR. This is really awesome news. I am so happy to hear this. This was announced on Wednesday. He basically talked about it on Wednesday, talking to Dave Moody on a Sirius XM Channel 90 on NASCAR radio. This is really awesome to hear. Brian France, in my opinion, really brought the sport down. Ever since he's left the sport is overall, some things have been negative, of course, but overall, the sport has been heading in a major, major positive direction. I wish Brian France the best of luck at whatever he does, though, because I don't wish any ill will toward Brian France, even though he made the sport really, really bad. I never wish ill will towards somebody, because Brian France, in my opinion, he basically did tarnish the sport and destroyed the sport that we all loved, of course. He was ruining it. It was going the wrong direction. After Chase Elliott won his first career Cup race at Watkins Glen, he basically decided to drive under the influence and then mention Donald Trump's name, which can ruin the sport's reputation in a heartbeat. So I wish Brian France best of luck, and I think it's the best for everyone that he is no longer going to be returned to sport. In more awesome news, the National Fairgrounds is going to be coming to iRacing. Great to hear. I've been wanting to see what they were going to do in National Fairgrounds because the iRacing team of C. Myers and Dale Jr. were out at the National Fairgrounds last fall, I believe. So that's really good to hear, and I cannot wait for the track to come to iRacing for you guys to enjoy. On to the next story. This is going to be shocking news, along with the rest of this stuff. Travis Pastrana is going to be making his Truck Series return at Saturday's Kansas race later this year in the second race in the doubleheader for the Truck Series. This will be his first start since Las Vegas in 2017, and he'll be driving the number 40 for Nice Motorsports. Very interesting thing to note, Travis Pastrana's last start came with, you guessed it, Nice Motorsports in 2017, when Nice Motorsports was on the upbringing, when they were just a startup organization in the NASCAR Gander Outdoors Truck Series. I believe this was their second year when he ran for the organization. Now they are in their 5th year as an organization. I think while they've kind of had a down year from last year, they've been overall better than they were at the beginning. I think Travis Pastrana coming back to the Truck Series is really cool. He had a brief stint in NASCAR before he ran in 2013. He ran in the Xfinity Series full time. He was trying to make it in NASCAR, but he said he did not enjoy it. But he's been enjoying running in the Truck Series, and he's really happy that he's going to have Cody Efaw, who was also his crew chief when he drove the number 45 for Nice Motorsports. I think there is a really good chance Travis Pastrana could get a top 15 or top 20. I think he won't wreck the car. I think he'll have a solid night, but the Truck Field is more competitive this year than it has been in the past. And I think Travis Pastrana is going to have a lot of work to do, especially if he is going to want to go out there and perform well in the Truck Series. But I am so happy that Travis Pastrana is going to be returning to the NASCAR Gander Outdoors Truck Series and returning to NASCAR, because that's really awesome news to hear. Now we get on to the next story, and possibly the biggest news story of this episode. We're going to talk a lot of this episode about Leavine family racing. According to Adam Stern, Bob Leavine has solicited prospective bids for the team in recent months, per sources, as he evaluates his future in the sport and his financial fallout of the COVID pandemic. Bidders could not yet be confirmed, but the price is mid or to high seven figures. I don't know if any of you know what that means, but I know what that means. He's talking about possibly selling a team. So the future of Leavine family racing right now is very uncertain. And what does that also mean? Christopher Bell, and we'll talk about that a little bit here as well. Christopher Bell's future is unclear, but Joe Gibbs Racing would need to bring him in-house or find another alliance partner to loan him to for the 21 if Leavine is sold. So a lot of people are asking, like, well, how come Bob Leavine's organization is, like, possibly going to be sold? Well, you have to understand that Bob Leavine does, of course, make his money from NASCAR, but a lot of Bob Leavine's money comes from his construction company in Texas. Texas currently right now is one of the hardest hit areas of the COVID-19 pandemic currently at this moment, and they have not been able to make money with that, so he's lost a lot of money from that, and he's talked about his financial struggles with the organization in the past. In fact, a couple months ago, he said he wasn't sure if he was going to be continuing after this year, which is a great shame because, in my opinion, Leavine family racing overall has been it's been on the upspring. And to be honest with you, I think they really started off in a bad way. They weren't really fast at the beginning, but over the years, especially since they joined the Joe Gibbs Racing organization, well, as an alliance with that team, they've been really on the upspring, and they nearly won their first career race last year with Matt DiBenedetto at Bristol. They were this close to winning. They didn't get the win, though, but they brought over Christopher Bell as well this year. And Bell, while they had a slow start to the year, they've been really on the upspring. And yes, they didn't have a great race at Kansas, but I think Leavine family racing, I hope they don't sell this team because, again, it really sucked because, again, I like Leavine family racing. Bob Leavine is one of the most honest people in the sport, and I hope that we don't get to see him leave. And what is interesting, and I mentioned about Christopher Bell here as well, what happens here? Rumors are going around that Erik Jones has been in talks of re-signing with Joe Gibbs Racing at the moment. Now, honestly, I would like to see both Christopher Bell and Erik Jones both at Joe Gibbs Racing. I really like both drivers a lot. The problem is, there's 3 spots already filled up, and there's only 1 spot available, and it's this 20 car. It's either going to be Erik Jones or Christopher Bell who's going to go to the 20. I would like to see both drivers and maybe get a 15, but unfortunately, because of the fact that they're only allowed to have 4 cars, it's going to be very hard to tell who is going to take it. But Erik Jones right now is not in the playoffs at the moment. If Erik Jones does not make the playoffs this year, I feel like he won't be back at the 20 car. I really don't think if Erik Jones misses the playoffs, he's not going to be back in the 20 car. He's been on the playoff fringe, it seems like, every year except 2018, of course, when he did end up winning at Daytona International Speedway, holding off Mark Truex Jr. for that win. But it's very tough to tell who's going to get that 20 car if Leavine family racing is sold. I'm not sure if Christopher Bell doesn't go to Joe Gibbs next year in 2021. I'm not sure where he's going to go, honestly. I really don't know. This is a very tough situation, but this could make silly season even crazier than it already is, especially with something else we are going to talk about here very, very soon in this episode. But Leavine family racing, if they get sold, man, that's going to really suck. Because you have to understand that Joe Gibbs Racing has the 3 teams. Kyle Busch, he's been really strong over the years. Yes, he's kind of had a down year this year, but Kyle Busch was Kyle Busch. He's one of the best drivers in NASCAR history. He signed a couple-year extension. You're not getting rid of him. Mark Truex Jr. is having pretty much a pretty good year this year. He had a really good year last year, too. You're not going to get rid of him. And Denny Hamlin, he's a longtime friend of JD Gibbs who passed away. So you're not going to get rid of Denny Hamlin. So really, it's a fight between the 20 car. I still think Erik Jones most likely will return to the 20 team. But if he doesn't make the playoffs, there is a very good chance that Erik Jones will be possibly leaving the organization and going to another team. Maybe not the 48 team, though, because we'll talk about that here in a second. But yeah, I hope Leavine Family Racing can return. Their future is uncertain and unclear right now, and I hope we get to see the organization back next year. Maybe Christopher will go back there as well, because I don't want to see Leavine Family Racing leave NASCAR, as I love that organization and where they've come from. Yes, of course, a bigger part of the reason why they're losing a lot of money is Joe Gibbs has probably upped the price due to the COVID-19 virus. I mean, financial times are tough. It's very tough, but I hope Leavine Family Racing does not get shut down here going into 2021. And now we get into the final story. And now this is just a rumor that has been, and talks have been going around, and this has shocked me more than anything. Hendrick Motorsports, according to Lee Spencer on the PRN Pit Road Network podcast, I think that's what it's called, there are apparently talks of Alex Bowman going to the 48 and the 88 car shutting down after this season. What? Like, huh? Like, are you kidding me? Hendrick Motorsports might go down to 3 cars? Like, this is, 2020 is one of the craziest years. Let me just say that. I did not expect there to possibly be the possibility of 3 cars at a Hendrick Motorsports top. This Leavine Family Racing news. You got the possibility of Hendrick Motorsports downsizing to 3 cars next year. Like, what? I mean, this will shake up the silly season. If this is true and this does happen, now this is just a rumor and just talks. This isn't confirmed right now, so take this with a grain of salt. But the fact that there is a chance this happens, this would completely change the game. But I'm not also surprised either, because the 88 teams had troubles with funding in the past. They basically had to get Chevy partners to be part of the team this year. So that isn't surprising there, to be honest with you. But what happens is that this silly season is completely going to change if they shut down the 3 organizations. Because if Alex Bowman goes to 48, everyone is out of the 48 question right there. Because you had Brad Keselowski be rumored to go there. That would be out the window. Bubba Wallace has been rumored, but I hear rumors that he might be returning to 43. Brad Keselowski, he would probably end up returning too. And apparently have been tossed. He might return to the 2. I don't know yet. This season is about to get insane. And especially since we're getting closer to 2021, we're about to hear 2021 schedule as well. We don't know what's going on with that at the moment. But the fact that Hendrick Motorsports might downsize to 3 cars is crazy. 2020 is one of the craziest years. Kyle Busch has still not won a race. He finally won a stage. But the fact that Kyle Busch has not won only won 1 stage this year, not a race. And the fact that Hendrick Motorsports might downsize to 3 cars next year is crazy. 2020 is one of the craziest seasons I've ever seen in NASCAR. And it just continues to be one of the most shocking things I've heard. So, yeah, anyway, that's all the news I have for today. So let's talk about the big update. For those of you who did not watch the video Monday, this is going to be the final episode for me for at least a week. I will not be having another video on this channel until next Friday when I come back to do the picks. Saturday is going to be the big update video for everything that I missed throughout the week. For those who don't know, I'm going on vacation to a resort at the Lake of the Ozarks called Tantera. So like I said, this is going to be the final episode on this channel for a week. Now, people are asking me, what are you doing down there at Tantera? I'm spending a couple days down there, like I mentioned, and I will be coming back here a week or 2 later after this with a vlog of all my time down there. I'll probably have a little bit of footage from my work as well, what I do there, of course, to kind of show you guys where I'm currently working at the moment. Then we'll probably head down there, show some footage of some trees and some other stuff that you guys get to see. Of course, probably where I go out to eat and stuff. Yes, if masks are required there, right now masks are not. I don't think masks are required at the Lake of the Ozarks, but if they are required, I will wear a mask and social distance and follow those protocols to make sure. So that's my update I wanted to share with you guys. Again, I know that a lot of y'all are not going to be happy with the decision I made. I know I wanted to release videos during the time down there, but there's just nothing I can do. I'm not bringing my laptop down there either. If you want to get a hold of me, you can message me on Instagram. I'll have my Snapchat policy in the description as well. If you want to get a hold of me here on YouTube, you go to my links. I will possibly try to get back to you guys. I'll be on social media during that time. So check me out here on social media. So Anyway, that is all the stuff I got to discuss here today. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Turn notifications on so you can be notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Links description below over that. And comment your thoughts on today's video. What do you think about Leavine Family Racing's future being uncertain? Let me know in the comments below. And what do you think about Hendrick Motorsports possibly downsizing to 3 cars? Let me know in the comments below. So anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. And I will see you guys when I return to YouTube next Friday. Take care, everybody.